Welcome, everybody, to this week's community call. I am Sudo, your host for the evening and also head of community at NIM. And I also have with me today Theo, who you already know from a few calls back. How is it going, Theo?
Doing really well. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to have you back. And I also have a very special guest today with me. As you know, from the previous community call, we had Theo on. We recently had an art contest, and one of the winners is Logik. How is it going, friend?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Excellent, excellent. I'm having a lot of fun, and it's really really nice to have you on. So basically, today we'll talk a little bit about the contest and also what the future holds for similar contests at NIM, because Theo has a whole vision for these more artsy campaigns when it comes to NIM, and of course. As usual, guys, we're going to be keeping a close eye on the questions you leave in chat. So please feel free to leave your questions either in the YouTube or Twitch live chat, or if you want to preserve your privacy and not log in with your YouTube account, you can also go to the NIM Matrix server and leave your questions there. Huge thanks for everybody for joining. And with all of that said, let's get into the call. First of all, maybe an introduction is due. Logik, please introduce yourself. What should people know about you?
Sure. So I am a Web3 artist. I started doing art I've actually been doing art for a while. I took a large break in my 20s, but I started doing Web3 art recently, roughly around a year and a half ago. Ever since I joined this community called the Pepe community. I've been with them for a year plus. And through that community, I was actually able to kind of dive back into art, which was an amazing opportunity. I never thought that I would jump back in, but the community, kind of paved the way for me to be able to do that. So I started doing, some basic memes and, other Web3 art. I wasn't sure if it was good or not, but people started saying that, oh yeah, your stuff is actually pretty good. And so I kept on going with it. And again, mostly started with memes. And from that, I, moved on to other things. Uh, and, for this particular contest or open call, I was actually told by a friend in the Pepe community about the call, and it's funny because the week prior to that, I was actually working on this exact theme. So I was like, oh, I basically already have it done. I have it concepted. I, you know, for the most part, it was pretty much done. So I was like, I'm going to submit this because it already aligned with what I was trying to do. So so that's a little interesting tidbit about the actual competition. But yeah, I've been doing a lot more art recently, and not just memes, but just a bunch of different things. So I do digital, I do AI, I do physical, painting, sketches, just a bunch of different mediums. AI film too. I've been dabbling with that. So just kind of all around, just trying to really get a good feel about just different avenues of expression through Web3 art.
Cool. What Pepe community? You mean like Pepe Coin?
No, not Pepe Coin. It's actually called Pepe Community, OXBE. So I've been part of that community for about a year. They came out, after the main the OX69 Pepe coin that came out last year. This was in the end of August, and it was really a coin that was supposed to be community based. It wasn't, controlled by anybody. It's for the people to allow builders and creators to really express themselves. So that was the gist behind this project, and it continues to build that way. And so I was always looking for a community that would allow me to do that.
Cool.
And in Web3, it's really hard to find that. To find an actual
Definitely.
legit community that is not going to rug you, that is not going to have people that are intentionally malicious. So, I found really great people and builders and creators here, and they resonated with what my vision of Web3 and Web3 art. So yeah, that's where I come from, and I'm still an active community member of that community.
Cool. So you already had the art, you're already working on that theme. You already have privacy and surveillance capitalism or censorship as a theme in some of your art already.
Yes. I was I was doing some of that prior, and specifically for this open call. Yeah, I would say like 2 weeks prior, I was doing a few pieces that were kind of resonated with the same theme. Um, I did not submit the first one that I worked on, but maybe I'll submit that one for the next one.
Oh yeah, sure, definitely. So I'll just show people the piece that was one of the winners, and it's animation with a person sitting in front of a screen, and the person is kind of in puzzle pieces. Like, yeah, just tell us like just tell us like your take on this piece, like anything you want to say about it.
Yeah, so this is a really cool piece in that I wanted to basically show our perception of being fed garbage through media, right? Media platforms. This could be through TV, radio, online, um, social medias, whatever it may be. But really, what it is these signals that are being sent to us every day. They kind of distort our sense of self and identity. And the man that I placed here, he's made out of puzzle pieces, and these pieces pretty much build up who we are. And if you notice, I don't think you could see it in the image here, but some of these puzzle pieces have fallen to the ground, and that's kind of resembling pieces that no longer resonate with ourselves. And whether that's through the signals that are being sent through the TV or through media or whatnot. But yeah, that's kind of the main gist of it. You also notice that as the animation continues, the screen gets a little blurrier, and it kind of sharpens around the puzzle pieces, around the man made out of puzzle pieces. And that's just really to represent that this man, the signals that are coming through are no longer like direct, right? Like they could be pretty much anything, and it's really a blurry personification of what the media is trying to convey to us. And it's just like everything gets so blurry, everything gets complicated, and it's just that's what I was trying to convey with with that part of the scene. And then also just like the ticking time bomb sound in the background. It's just kind of like just like a metronome, basically just like continuous passage of time during all this media garbage that's coming through all platforms to us, pretty much. So yeah, that's kind of a basic understanding, basic explanation of what I was trying to convey here.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, it's called Puzzle of Existence, everybody. And yeah, I think it's really strong. And so we had the NIM community, the NIM, something called the NIM Squad League, vote on the winners, and you were one of the winners. And yeah, actually, I'd actually like to look at some of the other artwork in the. Actually, let me pull up the one that is. Excuse me. Let me pull up the other winners real quick. Theo is using technology. Yeah. Hold on. I think here. Yeah. Okay. So I believe. Yeah, we're looking at this one. No, this is just the general one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Or am I showing this one? Open call again. Okay, I don't have the winners pulled up. Shoot. But it's okay. Look, we're just going to look at some of the art that was submitted because we had a lot of art submitted. And like, for example, this one. Logik, I don't know if you can see. Can you see where you are?
Yes, I could see the screen.
Okay, yeah. Like this one didn't win, but it got a lot of votes, but it's also one of my favorites. Untitled, but it also has this kind of noise, obscuring faces vibe to it. Sudo, what do you think of this one? What's your first impression when you see it?
I absolutely love it. I love both of them. This is, I mean, you know, as someone whose profile picture everywhere basically is the Guy Fawkes mask, which these are not Guy Fawkes masks, say that 5 times fast, but kind of similar. So obviously, I'm super big on this one.
Yeah. So there's a few things. I would just, while we're looking at some of them, and I scroll through a few of them, I'll talk about what the concept was. I mean, here at NIM, you know, we do have a mixnet, and in the mixnet we have something called cover traffic, which essentially is a kind of noise that covers what you're doing when you send the data packets through the internet. And so we're trying, you know, it's trying to illustrate that in a different way. And I also was talking to Sudo earlier, it's also kind of a catch-22 to how do you visualize privacy, because privacy should be something that's not seen. Any comments on that, Logik?
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. I mean, privacy. I mean, that's part of the reason why, you know, I'm not showing my video because
Yeah. Actually, Logik, that's really cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have like a mysterious anonymous artist on today. You know, he's calling from some really lo-fi basement microphone. You know, it kind of adds to it.
There you go. You know, it's funny. It's funny that you say that. I'm pretty private with my social media and when I'm online, but when I do go to in-person events, you know, recently I went to Pepe Fest because some of my art was accepted there. Obviously, I'm not wearing a mask, so the artists there know me. They've seen me. They've interacted with me in person. Yeah. But it's all, you know. I feel like it's different. Like when you're in an event where all the artists are kind of, you know, congregating and sharing their art, it feels different. But you know, when I'm online and on social medias, it definitely privacy 100%. Web3.
You know what? You know what? Logik, sorry to interrupt you, but I just got excited. You know what? I was there.
You were there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not only was I there, I was on a panel, and I did a roast. I did a comedy roast too. I roasted people, and I roasted a few community members of the old school Pepe.
Oh no,
Pepe
Theo.
People. Yeah.
Theo roasts are brutal, guys.
Okay. Yes, that's coming back. That was the first day, right?
Yeah. It was at the. It was like the first half. It was. Like the morning.
So
the morning
part. I came in late. I think I walked in when you were on stage and kind of walking off stage. So. Yeah. No.
Cool. Yeah, that was a cool event. So for everyone that doesn't know, that was this pretty famous artist called Beeple, and he has this huge venue in South Carolina, and it was a free event. And it was really wild. But that's so ironic that me and you were at that event, and we, so now we're meeting online, actually in person. So this is another winner from Sasha. She could not come on today, and I thought this one was also really strong. And again, everyone, I didn't vote on these. There were some other ones that I wanted to win that didn't win, but when I saw this one, I thought it was really cool. It's definitely illustrating the noise concept that we're going for with NIM, with, you know, mixing up things. And I kind of think it's cool with the maze inside the brain. That's how I'm kind of interpret. I wish she was here to explain it to us. but that's how I'm interpreting it. And the maze could also be the path through the mixnet. I mean, if you wanted to interpret it that, it could be a kind of maze, how the data packets go through different things. What's your take on this one, Sudo? Just quick take on it.
I also really love it. It has it ticks all the boxes when it comes to the at least my visuals, how I would imagine the mixnet. It has the maze, it has the noise. I absolutely love it. Also, it's kind of nice. The I can't explain it, but the shape of the head is also really nice. It's dope.
The shape of the head is pretty weird. Any takes
Yeah,
on
that's
this?
that's the whole point.
Any takes on this one, real quick, Logik?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm definitely like this one a lot because it is Pepe related. So I am particular to Pepe stuff. So that being said, I also know the artist Sasha is a great friend of mine on Web3. But I do think that this does hit the mark with what the contest open call was intending to look for. Again, that static image on the back, I think, really conveys, just mixed signals, and when you turn on that TV and you're not getting that signal, and at least back in the 90s, that's how it was.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, but no, I love this, and again, like the maze in the brain with the head kind of like propped up a little bit. I think that's just so clever. It's a really good piece for me, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I really like this one. And so people don't know. I didn't totally realize it's a Pepe, but I think it's a Pepe and you just don't see the eyes, and that's why the head is really weird, Sudo.
Yeah, and one thing to add, I just wanted to add that particular Pepe drawing or style is something that Sasha does a lot, and so just right off the bat, I knew it was a Pepe, so it's pretty awesome.
Oh, now I actually see the eyes. Okay, I didn't even notice. I thought it was just the forehead that had those wrinkles up top. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had a lot of entries. I mean, I'm not going to be able to, I'm not going to be able to go over all of them. There were so many really strong entries that didn't win or won. Here's Coldy. Coldy is like kind of a famous artist, but he made this back in 2019, and it's more about Facebook and what was going on then. Do you see the people walking into the mouth, kind of? Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because when I first saw it, I couldn't even figure out what that was. But I think it's a pretty cool piece. It doesn't really do the noise thing that much. It does have the signal thing in the background, but I think it really fits to, the general vibe of censorship, things like this. This was the most controversial one. I'll just shortly comment on it. It was just like, some people thought it was trolling, but it's trying to say that you can be an asshole if you're anonymous online. And I mean, that's kind of true. And actually, if you do get a chance to listen to it, it is kind of funny. So I don't think that was here's a nice one from Empress Trash. So I'm going to just go through a few quickly because it's going to be impossible. Another Pepe related one doing some noise, but you can see here the quality, woman NFT doing a pretty interesting one with the moon, but you can see we attracted pretty good quality, very good quality of art to this contest, and still staying on the theme. I think this one got some votes, this quantum noise one. I actually really enjoyed this one too, but it didn't get really a lot of votes. Let's see, it talks about what a noise and anonymity and online privacy truly mean. Yeah. Any takes on this piece, Logik? First impression.
I mean, my first impression is like everything is scattered, right? I mean, you see a bunch of lines everywhere. It's hard to even distinguish what is the real picture, right? And I think that idea resonates with the open call, right? You can't really tell what's going on. The lines are all, kind of intersecting each other. I mean, I think this is a great one.
Definitely. Suda, what's your first impression right when you see this?
I also like it. It has strong. What is it called? The technique they use to paint church windows. I don't know the English
Stained
name.
glass.
Yeah, that it has
Yeah.
strong. That adds some extra like specialty to it. I really like it. It's a bit like intimidating to sit on a call with two people who are very artsy. Me, not so much. I can only give these like
Don't
very
be intimidated.
simple.
Don't be intimidated. Actually, it's good. Actually, it's really good, Sudo, because it's really good to have a different opinion of someone that doesn't deal with art all the time. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times it's just like in everything. It's also with the technical privacy sphere and everything like that. You get too much in a bubble, and people get snobby or they just have, so we've already looked at two of the winners. Sasha was also a winner. Let's take a look at Arif's
Wait,
real quick.
should we put your screen back?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay. There we
It's
go.
not working. Is it working now?
Yep, there it is. Yep,
Okay,
yep,
great.
now it does.
Yeah, this one also won. It's more, definitely has like a geometrical noise vibe. Logik, any takes on this? You can also say you don't like it.
No, I do like, all the winners that won, and even the ones that didn't win. I really liked all the submissions that I saw. This one in particular, I do like how like the right side is all kind of scrambled, and it's almost like the sound is kind of like scrambling the geometry right on the right side. So I think that's really clever.
Yeah, definitely. I like that dichotomy kind of going on. Suda?
Actually, noise or sound scrambling the geometry is exactly the symbol of what the NIM mixnet does. So there's a geometry to how your packets travel on the internet, right? So there's a geometry to like a footprint to what you're doing on the internet. And the mixnet basically scrambles all of that so that from the outside it looks like white noise. So that's why I think it's a really good like visual representation of this concept.
Definitely. Okay, we had another. Just a second. Okay, yeah, we have now a whole totally different take. Silver Rain with a hand drawn or hand painted entry. My vision is how noise protects you from threats and prevents you from being exposed to danger. Your product is a mask that allows articles to be anonymous to absolutely anyone on the network, hand drawn. Okay, so she really read, our mission. And I really liked this one when I saw it because, I don't know, it just somehow has some more emotion to it. Maybe because it's hand drawn, maybe because it has a lot of faces in there. And I really appreciated the colors and the kind of, it's a little bit softer than some of the digitally made ones. I don't know if you know what I mean with the colors and the lines. It's a little bit softer. It's not so hard in your face. So it really stood out in the crowd of the submissions. Sudo, what do you think when you see this?
To me, I also love that it's hand drawn. It's sort of refreshing surprise, and then the masks and the many faces and how the like figures in the middle seem to be together in the same place. It's very much the privacy loves company like vibes for me,
Yeah,
which is our motto basically.
Yeah, that's true. Privacy loves company. Logik, what's your take on this one?
I also really like that it's hand drawn. I as an artist, like I feel like you should be able to do digitally, but also the traditional classical methods as well. And I think this kind of is a great example of that. And also the face in the middle, if you notice, it almost has that same scramble texture on it, right? It's this kind of gray white texture. So that was the first thing that I noticed on this one is you have the masks around, but the main face is kind of scrambled, like just
definitely, yeah.
So I think that's really
cool. There's a lot of details, a lot of really good details. Piece.
Yeah,
and it definitely stands out. maybe because of the technique, and I like the kind of for me, it's like the softness of the lines. Maybe that comes from the hand drawn. It's really hard to get digitally like that kind of soft line. Okay, let's see here. Next winner, we have another. Am I going crazy? No, I'm not going crazy. Just a second. We're doing this live, everybody. We had, actually, no, we had one more winner. And I hope I included it in this thread, but I'm pretty sure I did. Well, shoot. Well, I can't find it right now. Well, we're doing this live, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to drop the ball on that. But we can see a small version of it here between the Sasha's and the hand-drawn, where it has the faces and it's really colorful. And I also think that was really cool how it has a little bit of the left-right dichotomy that we have over here, too, to the right. Do you like this colorful one, Sudo?
Yeah, that's really beautiful. I also, is that an? It's hard for me to see, but is that an eye in the middle, or
yeah, it is.
Does it look?
Yeah, it also has
like
some
iris?
hidden. It is. It has some like hidden details in it. Logik, did you catch this one?
Yeah. Is it an eye, or is it also like a Fibonacci spiral?
I'm not sure from here. I'm gonna have to. We'll go in the main thread and see if we run over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell from this version of it.
I just did an art piece recently digitally that incorporated a Fibonacci spiral. So that's really fresh in my mind. So I think it might be a Fibonacci spiral in the middle.
It could be.
I just can't tell from this from this angle or from this
version.
This side. But no, I really love the colors, and I do like how they're the faces are layered, and to me that could be like layer of privacy, right? Each you have multiple layers of privacy, and that's a really cool concept.
Yeah, I like the layers, definitely. So like I said, we had so many strong submissions. I'm just flipping through right now just to catch some and like do some quick comments on some of them. Let me see here. I actually really like this one too. It kind of looks, I don't know if it's really cubist or something like that, but it kind of reminded me of some classical styles too. And I like how it has, again, when we have the signals on the right side and then they're getting all mixed up into almost people, it looks like, onto the left. Or it could be the other way where you have if it represents the other way, it could be that on the left you have objects like people, and then they get mixed into these just straight lines and you can't see them anymore. So that was my take on that one.
For me it's the letter. So basically there's the shape of what you're doing online, like sort of kind of like showing a person, but not exactly, but like the outlines of a person and some stuff around them. And then as it goes out towards the world, it's basically just some colorful lines and not identifiable. To me, that it looks that way.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's very nice.
I think I'm going to agree with Sudo on this. It definitely, the people are doing whatever they're doing on the left side, whether it's online or in person or in real life. But then there's that privacy line, right? That once that's hit, then it like Sudo said, it just you don't know what's what anymore. So I think that's a really cool concept as well.
Definitely. This is really cool from Martin. Hold on, let's see. We had, like I said, there's so many. Here's like a more of a fun one from Nathan Sonic, but also really nice. I really like this from Ilian. He's a friend of mine, so maybe I'm biased. But let me see if I can make it bigger. Oh, yeah. If it would go full screen. No. Well, we can just play it like this. But I think this was really cool because it was really noisy. and but still has these really cool shapes, and it has like kind of different layers to it. I thought it was like really well made. Logik, what do you think of this one?
I do like. I'm pretty particular also to black and white art.
Yeah.
When I started back art, a year and a half ago, I did a lot of black and white graphite sketches. So I'm pretty particular to that. And no, I do like how they incorporated the black and white, and again, just different layers, right? Different.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like each, as it oscillates through each image, it's a completely different representation of what the artist was trying to show here. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Sudo, any quick words on this one?
Yeah, I really like this one, and that's because I'm not sure why there's no like a lot of direct resemblance, but it still reminds me of Popple20. Do you guys know Popple20, an NFT artist?
I don't actually, but it's cool.
I'm gonna drop a link to his Twitter. Actually, this guy designed the NFTs and all the artwork for Shipyard last year. So there was this big educational program that we did, and he made the designs for it. I think his work is really, really dope. So he's one of my favorite artists. And for some reason, even though it's not very similar, it invokes the same vibes in me. So I really like this one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I won't, like I said, I won't be able to go for all of these, even though there's so many really strong ones out there. I really want to thank all the artists that contributed. It was really, I think, yeah, we had around 100 submissions, and they were all really very strong submissions, as you can see me just flipping through these, different styles, different takes on privacy, on the mixnet, on adding noise to cover up yourself, all kinds of different ones. So yeah, like I said, really strong. And I just wanted, maybe Logik, you can also speak to this. It's kind of a catch-22 to, how do you visualize privacy? Because it should be something that is not seen. So I think that's it's a very interesting philosophical, artistic question to kind of express that feeling of being private, or maybe the feeling of being surveilled. What do you think about those concepts?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that you could express or show what this means physically. So, or like each artist has a different perception or a different way that they could convey this, and and I think that's what defines privacy, right? There's so many different avenues to basically not be shown, right? I'm doing it right now, right? I have my PFP up. And I don't know. It's a very philosophical question, and to really show that is can be difficult. Really, it can be. But as long as you understand the basic idea and the need of privacy, right? I think that's what matters the most.
Sure. Yeah, definitely the need for privacy.
To me, the interesting thing about this contest, which I really enjoyed looking at the submissions and the whole process, I think you really hit it out of the park with this one, Theo. What I really like to see, and it was a surprise to me, obviously I'm sitting here at NIM. I've been working here for 3 years. I have an understanding of our narrative. I have an understanding of the technology and all of that stuff, and that sort of locks me in, right? It's very hard for me to see this stuff that we talk about from a different perspective, and it was really nice to see what this kind of concept meant for a whole bunch of people, right? Because there are very different interpretations of this bring the noise, this noise and hiding in the noise concept that the contest was about. And it was really nice to see all of those, how this concept is represented in many different brains. Now, on that note, Theo.
Yes.
On that note, I wanted to pick your brain a little bit about the future of such contests.
Yeah, sure.
We also have one ongoing right now on Warpcast. Maybe we could talk a little bit about that, and more broadly, what you have planned for the future. Like, where are we going with these contests?
That's a really good question. To be honest, I don't know of. So Logic is definitely familiar with, and I'm very familiar, and I've also run some open calls. Open call is usually for an event, a gallery event, or like Pepe Fest, for example, where we were at, and it says like, hey, we're looking for artwork, submit your artwork, and we'll pick the ones that get picked will be shown at the place. And of course, at some of the events, the ones shown have a chance to be bought. So there's like a big incentive. So people really want to be shown. And within the NFT world, there's definitely some critique of like how the open calls are run. So that's why I thought it was really cool when you suggested, hey, why don't we have the NIM Squad League vote on the winners? That's a more transparent way than more of a black box where we say, oh, Theo, the curator, is going to choose, which sometimes is a critique. And the other critique is that it's just used purely for engagement. And, just to be transparent, of course, NIM wants engagement on these contests. That's why we did it on Twitter. But at the same time, we're patronizing the arts. We're actually paying people, the artists straight up. And so I don't know of another open call like that exactly, where it just says, hey, we're just doing this contest just for this topic and to pay you just for this topic. It's not part of an event. It's not like a chance to sell your NFT. I don't know of that. And I don't know of another company at all, maybe in the world, definitely not another Web3 company that's not art related, that says, hey, we're going to ask creatives to make images about this concept that we give them. Go. I don't know. So it's a little bit experimental, and I think it went really well. The future of them is, just fine-tuning them. Doing them. Can't do them all the time because that's like a little bit too much, but fine-tuning them to different themes, fine-tuning any feedback, like with the voting process, and different things. The Warpcast one is just me choosing it, to be transparent, but it's just a little bit different in that I thought, okay, why don't we do that? And I pick, it's like a smaller prize, but every day, like I'll pick 14 winners. So for 2 weeks,
Should I bring up your screen?
Yeah, bring up my screen. Yeah, I'll just show you what we've got today. So, Warpcast is smaller than Twitter, but it's still growing. And so like, yeah, I don't even know what's going on with these cute bears, but they're kind of noised out. It's kind of funny. Here's one just about freedom. It has a Silk Road reference. For those of you that don't know, the camel is referencing the Silk Road, which is one of an early dark market where Ross Ulbricht went to jail for running. So that's kind of like what this one is referencing. We've got another noise one, glitchy thing. So we've got some entries. It's definitely less, but I expected that because Warpcast is just less people. But still, the quality of the entries is pretty good so far, to be honest. Just running for, here's a funny one. I don't know. Okay, the child is afraid of Nim, the gorilla, or the monkey. The child is the other VPN. It's kind of weird, but you'll get weird stuff like that. That's part of the process. Here's a nice hand-drawn one from my friend, Brain Pasta. Pretty cool. So yeah, we've definitely got some entries. I even told the artist they could enter the same one, just enter it again. I really like this painted one from Maria. Really, really well done. Lots of detail here. So here, here are some of the entries. I made these two just to get things started, just to kind of, give people some inspiration. So yeah, it's only been going this week. It'll go 2 weeks, and every day you can win 1,000 NIM tokens. And so that's like almost $100 right now. So that's pretty cool. And you can post once a day. So those are the general rules. and I'll just pick, 14 winners. So a winner every day, essentially. So that's the basic gist of it. And I think, yeah, why don't we just talk briefly about what you were talking about earlier, Sudo, is that, why Warpcast? Well, actually, what inspired me, we already had a Warpcast with a little bit of a following, but not a huge following. But then X got banned in Brazil. And I thought, oh, okay, well, this is a great chance. Why don't we say, hey, we're going to let's reach out to people on Warpcast, because things are getting banned left and right. Telegram is maybe has some issues and so on. So let's explore these alternative social media platforms that are decentralized. Logik, any experience with Warpcast? Are you on there?
I am not yet, but I was going to make an account here shortly because I do want to submit something for this next one as well. I know that I've been sending the information out to a lot of my contacts or my other Web3 artist friends, trying to get them in and just join the fun. It's really cool.
Yeah, actually, that's what I wanted to ask you. So, because I didn't know you, even though you were at the Pepe event, we don't know each other, and I didn't message you directly about the contest. So, just another friend told you about this. The first.
Somebody in the Pepe community messaged the whole community. They said, hey, there's an art contest.
Nice.
And a lot of us are artists in that community, so we all just started working on it. I don't think anybody else submitted other than myself.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was through the community, and I'm not sure where he heard it from. Probably somebody.
Okay, that's cool.
No idea.
Okay, well, we'll see you on Warpcast soon. Yeah, and maybe we will branch out to Nostr too. It's another decentralized social network. I think that it's difficult to get these networks going, to be honest, because it's just chicken and egg, and it's so hard to get a critical mass of people to stay in those networks. We've had Diaspora. It was like a really old attempt at decentralized social media, but it was almost too decentralized in a way, I guess you could say. But maybe this is a good time. You need to have some pain points for people to do it. You have things getting banned, you have real censorship. Then people see a real use case in using these alternative social media platforms that are decentral. Sudo, what's your take on it?
That's actually a really good question. I meant to ask you guys this because we've been hearing about these, alternative social media platforms, starting with things like Mastodon and Nostr, which you mentioned. By the way, we are on Nostr, but we haven't been managing the account a lot. So maybe we should pick it up and do some more work there. And also Blue Sky and a bunch of others. And there is a growing and real need, I think, for these platforms, given the censorship, given how crazy the world is getting. But then, and there are some pretty cool concepts and pretty cool tech building in this space. But like you said, the network effect is real, right? Say what you want about Facebook, it's terrible in terms of privacy. It's one of the pioneers of violating user privacy in all kinds of very creative ways, right? But if you want to reach your, high school buddies or your primary school buddies, and you want to organize a high school reunion, you go to Facebook, man, because everybody's there and your mother is there, and so that's very hard to overcome. I really hope that at some point we will. I do think though that we're not there yet, and I hope that one of these already existing, or maybe some new one, but one of these already existing, alternative or decentralized, or maybe federated in the case of Mastodon, social media platforms catch on. But I don't see that happening yet. That critical mass that you mentioned, I don't think we reached on any of these platforms. What about you, Logik? Are you active on anything other than the normie platforms like Twitter and Facebook and Facebook products and all of that good stuff?
Yeah. To be honest, just the normie stuff right now. Instagram. I actually removed myself from Facebook because I thought it was I was getting spammed with so much garbage from people that I used to know, and it's just like I didn't want to see any of that. And like you said, it's kind of the privacy issue there is just too large. So I actually removed myself 2 years ago from Facebook because of that. But I still, I say that, but I still use Instagram because, I don't know.
Yeah.
So still owned by the same people, but
It is. It is. There's an interesting point though about Warpcast is it costs money. It costs like about $5 for a year, and but I think that's okay because they don't collect your data. So I think this is just a general concept that we're going to have to, as humans, we've been really used to free quote platforms, but you're just paying with your data, and they're making a shitload of money off that data. Whereas pay $5 up front, and it's just there to use. So their business model is more pay $5 up front, and you can pay for something called warps, which is like boosting your post, and like maybe a few other like products and stuff like that. So I think, at the beginning, I was like, why do I got to pay for Warpcast? Is this a scam or whatever? You know what I mean? It was really early when it first launched. But I thought, okay, fuck it. People are on there. I'll just pay the $5. And I think that's an interesting thing. You got to pay up front, but then you don't have your data collected. I think that's a really good trade-off. And I think that's something people are going to have to start considering.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to say something regarding that. That could combat bot accounts and trolls too.
Yes, totally.
So I think that's huge.
Oh yeah, you know what? One of the best, but one of the responses I'm getting from the Warpcast contest is because I'll DM people that took part in the first contest. Say, hey, thanks for being part of the NIM art contest. We have another one on Warpcast. And they say, does Warpcast cost money? I said, yeah, it costs $5 for 1 year. And they're like, yeah, I don't have an account. Can I just post it on Twitter? You know what I mean? But, you're going to get people like that. And I totally get it. And I'm not getting anything from Warpcast for getting people to join. But yeah, I think it's just it's an interesting experiment to see who can get on there. Yeah, definitely will prevent some bots, I think, like you said. So I think that's a good thing. I think we're getting close to the end of time too. I think we should try to get some closing comments going on.
Not closing comments. We have a bunch of community questions actually.
Oh, okay,
Maybe
let's jump
into those.
Hit them. Quick fire.
All right, so hopefully you enjoyed this conversation, our dear NIM community. It's been a blast, and thanks for being here, first of all, and also for the amazing questions. First question is from Khaled. This one was sent on Matrix, so I can't put it on screen. What is the difference between traditional digital art to Web3 art? This is from Khaled. Thanks for the good question. I guess Logik, answer first. What do you think?
Well, so I think there's a huge difference there in that Web3 there is a whole idealized privacy component to it, right? Web3 is also decentralized. You're on chains typically. If you're minting NFTs, you are either minting it on ETH or Bitcoin or XCP, multiple chains. You're also part of Web3 or on-chain communities that are typically backed by a token or a tokenized project or something like that. Digital art doesn't have to have that. Digital art can just exist as digital art. It doesn't have to be tokenized. It doesn't have to be private, right? You could create digital art and put it on Etsy if you want, right? And or on Facebook or whatever, and people could know who you are. I think Web3 is just a little more. There's just an extra layer of privacy and decentralization.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I think there's I think just the medium of using blockchain technology is probably the main difference. Of course, there's some trends about how it looks. It's also, generally speaking, easier to access for artists to make stuff and get seen on Web3. Even though there are, gatekeepers and stuff like that in Web3, it's much, much less than in the traditional art world.
Exactly. Moving on to the next one. This is from Hex Mostly, who's also also an artist. I think probably came to see you, Logik. I can put this one on screen though.
Cool.
All right. So the question is, what holds more importance, the meaning behind the art or the skill of the art? This is a very good question. I wonder what your take on this is. Logik, let's start with you.
Wow, that's a really good question. And Hex is a good friend of mine. He's part of the Pepe community as well. Amazing artist, amazing at a lot of the stuff that he does. But the meaning, I think for me, I would say meaning is probably heavier weighted in my opinion, because like you could have something that maybe has less traditional skill behind it. Maybe it's just like a sketch, or maybe it's like a a weird meme that you just did it, and it's not really classical methods. But if there's a meaning behind it, right? If there's something that a story that it's trying to convey, I feel like that has more impact than having it be a beautiful, perfect traditional classical piece. So I would say probably meaning has a little more weight for me.
Yeah.
What about you, Theo?
I'm going to agree, because that's where the emotion is going to come. The emotional connection is going to come from the meaning. Skill is cool and nice and everything, but the hottest is always not the best choice.
Yeah, for me, I'll have to disagree with you guys. Although keep in mind that I'm like the least artsy person you've met, right?
Great.
So obviously my perspective is very different. But while as a not artsy person, skill is what really gets me, right? If I see something that's very impressive technically, I'm like, oh my god, I couldn't do this. This is very nice. I get that the meaning obviously is what makes art. I totally agree with that. But I think lately, and this may be a controversial take, I'm not here to hurt anybody, but still I have to say that lately contemporary art for me, which is becoming like increasingly like abstract, and also like as if we wanted to show that skill is not needed at all as a concept, and we don't care about skill at all. That bothers me a lot. Like I sometimes see this stuff that is called art that I just can't recognize as such. That sort of like bothers me at a visceral level. So I guess for this reason, I would say, if not the only important thing, there are some empty. So I've seen empty art, which was like really impressive technically, but it had like zero ways to like connect to it, or it didn't say anything to me, I should say. I guess all art speaks to at least one person.
What's funny is I think we kind of agree, because like you could argue that what the stuff you saw you didn't like, it didn't have much meaning behind it either. So yeah. Cool. What's the next question?
All right, next question. Sorry for spending so much time on this one.
Okay, that's good.
This one is from Rocio. Rocio, once again, is asking a lot of great questions. Thanks for the question, Rocio. What is your creative process like? And I guess I can also put the other one by Rocio, which is connected. What is your inspiration to create great art? So basically, I think these are kind of tightly connected. Logik, I guess this one is for you. These ones are for you.
So, okay. So my creative process usually... So I have to be in the right mindset to be able to do art. I have to not be tired is my main thing. Emotional, great. Angry, sad, great. Those are two. Emotion is what really helps me create my art. But my process really is I'll try to concept something. I'll think of something that I want to convey. I'll try to concept it. I'll sketch it by hand. And then, I depending on the medium, I'll start to just put it on that particular medium. If it's, I typically start 100% by hand, whether it ends up being digital or not. So yeah, I would say, just sketching, basic sketches, to kind of convey. And it's funny because a lot of the times when I'm starting to create something, I'm erasing a lot. I'm like, I don't like that. I'm gonna redo that. I don't like that, and then I'll step away for a while too. Sometimes for me it's really good to kind of put a piece down, and maybe that's for like a week, maybe that's for 2 weeks, and I do that quite often actually. I'll come back after my mind has done what it's needed to do, and then I come back and then I feel refreshed, and I could proceed with that particular piece. And so, what was the second question?
It was, I'm going to put that one on screen now, which is, I think, related. What is your inspiration to create great art? Yeah.
Honestly, it started with my community, right? I was inspired by people, right? By people, by good people, right? Not scammers, not fake people, not just good people. So definitely, that's my largest inspiration. Being around other artists, seeing what other artists, convey as well is a huge inspiration. Working with other artists is another inspiration. So it's just the people aspect of it is huge for me.
That's a beautiful answer, especially to my ears as head of community. I really love that answer. Now we only have time for one more question. This one is also from Rocio. We're going in a chronological order. Next question: what do you think of Banksy's work? That's a big one.
Is that for me?
Yeah. Let's...
I like Banksy's work. I really do. Like I wasn't a huge fan a while ago, just because I just didn't know too much about him or about what he was doing. But I like that he's trying to convey a message with his work, and I feel like that's amazing. And I feel like all art needs to try to convey a message. Like you said, some art is just like kind of flat, and there's no emotion, there's nothing behind it. Especially with the research, how AI art has been starting to kind of take control of a lot of stuff. There's not a lot of human emotion behind that. You can still do great AI art, but there needs to be human emotion. There needs to be a story. There needs to be something. And I think Banksy definitely hits that on the nail on the head. So expression of a story is super important for me.
Yeah. To me, lately I've seen a few, I've seen a bit of I think Banksy became a bit too popular, and then some people are like, everybody likes this guy, so I'm not unique if I do, so I just don't like this guy. Whatever, feel free to do that. But to me, the whole Banksy, it's not just the art, but also the fact that nobody knows who he is. Also the fact that he has this whole philosophy of in his opinion, all walls in all cities should be free for everybody to, not illegal to paint on. If you read his book, I don't know if you guys saw his book. It's mostly art, but there's a bit of Ars Poetica as well, or his thoughts about art. It's very interesting. I like Banksy a lot personally. What about you, Theo?
Yeah, I like him. I like that it's on the street. That's what I was going to add, to all the thing. I like that it's like that. And yeah, it is annoying in London where you see people with their phones, oh, are we at the Banksy now? And they want to take a selfie in front of it. But that's just part of how it is.
Yeah. Well, with all of that, gentlemen, we arrived to both the end of the call and also to the end of the questions today. I would like to thank both of you for coming on, especially you, Logik, for taking the time of your day. Did you enjoy being here?
I really enjoyed my time here, and speaking with both of you, and really going through all the art and the questions. It was amazing.
Cool.
Well, thanks likewise. It was a really interesting combo. Theo, once again, thanks for coming on. I hope to have you on very often, to talk about the upcoming contests and hopefully we'll have, like you said, not too many of these because that would be weird, but at least like on an ongoing basis, we'll be organizing these contests. Super looking forward to that. Now, there's only one last thing that we need to do, which is, of course, give the community their POAP for attending this event. Now, this time, the person who came up with the secret phrase was Salazar, our dear community manager and stream manager. So you will know what's on his mind. So you know what to do. You need to go to nimtech.net/go/POAP, please. Yep. You find the link in the chat and also on screen, and you need to enter, what's the secret phrase? Exactly. It's fall season. With the same spelling, so capital F, capital S. The reason for this is because Salazar and I are very busy closing the summer season of the NIM Squad League, and we're going to be opening at the same time the fall season with a bunch of new missions and also improvements to the framework and whatnot, so stay tuned for that. Once again, huge thanks for coming on to both of you. It was a really fun conversation. And of course, also a big thanks to the community for hanging out with us, asking great questions, and learning about the NIM art contests. Have a good one, everybody.